All right, everybody. My name is Chase Yearsley. Tonight we're going to be doing the Chapter 3 Brief Exercise 11 walkthrough and tutorial. So in this problem, we've been asked to create a trial balance sheet from the ledger balances of Blossom Company at June 30th, 2017. And so at the top on the Wiley Plus part of this, it's going to ask you what date to put. And we're just going to enter June 30th, 2017 because that's the date that this was filed on. And now we're going to go through and we're going to enter the different data points that will correspond to a positive or a debit balance or a credit balance. And as we learned in the chapter, there is actually a pretty nifty little formula that helps us to be able to see that. Here we see that assets will have a positive debt balance, liabilities will have a positive credit balance. We'll just use this as our tool to decide where everything goes. All right, so we'll make our way back to Excel. And first we have assets, as is shown in our equation. So in this case, assets would be cash, accounts receivable, and equipment. Now come through and add the different amounts of money or the different prices of these, with account receivable at $25.10, equipment at $13,350. Next, if we go back to our equation, the next thing we see is liabilities. Well, on our Excel sheet, the liabilities that we have would just be our accounts payable. We'll enter that. Go over here and put 1,290. Now, according to our equation, the next thing that we need to enter is common stock. So we'll come back and look, and sure enough, we have common stock of 18,000. So because in our equation, it shows us that is common stock will have a credit balance. We'll then enter that as such as a credit balance. Next, according to our equation, we have and from here, from our list of values, we don't have one titled retained earnings, so we'll move on to the next one. Now we have revenues, and that will have once again a positive or a credit balance. So we look for revenues. Here we have service revenue of $8,950. On in and put it where it needs to be, $8,950 on the credit side. Next, according to our equation, we have expenses. And those, unlike the other ones we've been doing, will have a positive debit balance. So once again, we'll look for expenses. We have rent expense right there. We'll enter in its amount, $1,490. Plus, we have a salaries and wage expense. Salaries and wage. Enter that as $3,460. And finally, our final amount that we need to worry about is dividends. Dividends also will have a debit balance, meaning that we'll enter it in the left-hand side. So we come up here, our dividends are $1,740. We'll enter that. Perfect. Now, as you can see, I've already figured out the total. It's already programmed into Excel. But without that, what we'd do is we'd then add up the debit column and the credit column. And if we've done everything correctly, which we have, the two will remain equal to each other, meaning that there should be no mistake in what we've done and that everything is sorted out correctly. Anyways, I found that the equation that is in chapter 3, section 2 was very helpful. And if you have any other questions, I recommend you go to that or go ahead and ask me. Thank you for your time, and I hope this was helpful.